Hey you guys, this is Josh with Homesteading Family, and today I'm going to be demonstrating another instant garden, but this one's going to be a really cool vertical gardening system that you can use on your patio, on your porch, inside your house if you've got enough sunlight exposure, and just a really quick way to get a garden going and grow some food in a small space. All right, so you guys know that we grow a lot of food for ourselves. We've got a large property and we've got a lot of space, but sometimes we want to get our food in a little closer to the house. And I know that a lot of you guys are trying to figure out ways that you can grow some food right where you're at. And today I have got a really cool system for you. This is a vertical gardening system. And while I haven't done a ton of vertical gardening, I think this is one of the best systems out there. It's called the GreenStalk Vertical Growing System. And we're going to get you a link to that down below, and I'll tell you more about it as we go along. But this takes up less than 4 square feet. It's under 2 by 2. You can put this on your apartment balcony. You can do several of them. You can put this on your porch somewhere in a good sunny spot. You could put it in the house. It's very, very versatile. And before we get into actually putting things together, there's a couple things about this system that I really, really love. One of them is that it is mobile. A lot of your vertical systems are just stationary and you cannot move them around. And the biggest problem with that is that not all sides can get full sun. It's really nice to be able to move it. So this has nice casters and a nice mobile system. It also has several tiers. These are your planters. They are nicely fit to take 1 cubic foot of soil, which is what a lot of your potting soil comes in. And while I recommend a lot of you guys to try to buy quality soil in bulk, sometimes you just can't do that, especially in your small space. And so you're going to need to buy it by the bag. So these are just perfectly measured out for what you can already get. And we've got some great organic planting mix here that we're going to use for today's video. And you can also do different levels. This can go anywhere from 1, they market it from 3 tiers, but you could do anywhere from 1 up to 5. We're going to demonstrate the full 5 tiers on this today. And GreenStalk has patented a new watering system. And if you've ever done any vertical gardening, one of the biggest problems is that you get too much water at the top and you don't get enough water down at the bottom. So they've included some watering trays. And you also have, as we'll get to in a little bit, an actual top bucket that you fill up that measures the water so that it appropriately waters every single tier of your garden. That is just really, really cool. The other thing I really love about this system is this is a small family out of Tennessee. It was designed in the United States. It's made in the United States. And so when you're buying this, you are supporting a great family here in the United States, and we really love to do that anywhere we can. So to get started, some things you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need the GreenStalk system if you're going to use this, and there's a link down below that you can purchase that system, and they are giving Homesteading Family followers a discount. So check that out and figure out the right system for you. You're going to need some soil. Again, if you can buy in bulk, I always recommend buying in bulk, but I know that a lot of you don't have the space for that. And so just get a good quality organic planting mix. This is something that we had at our local garden supply center, so I wanted to demonstrate that for you. And of course, you're going to need your plants. And you can plant all kinds of things in the system, but there's a few things you need to think about. You're limited in how much soil you have in there, so you don't want to plant some things that are going to get really, really large, like some of maybe your winter squash plants. You're going to want to stick with patio style tomatoes that are determinate, not a large indeterminate variety. And so just keep that in mind, the size of what you're planting. And today what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a salad garden. So I've got some starts here, some tomatoes, some little mini sweet bell peppers that we love in salads, some cucumbers, and then on a couple tiers we're going to plant some lettuce. And this is going to make a really cool little salad garden. You could also do a salsa garden. A lot of folks love to grow salsa gardens. You could do some of your culinary herbs. A lot of cool things you can do here. But for today's demonstration, we'll go ahead and do a salad garden. So you've got everything you need there, and of course we'll need water when we get done. You'll want a hose handy or a watering can. Okay, so what we want to do is get our soil in all of these first. So I'm just going to go ahead and spread them out. And we'll get this one right into its tray. This is a very modular system and just goes together super simply. And we're going to start filling with soil. So these are actually 2 cubic yard bags. You want to fill these right up to the top because it is going to settle over time. So you want to take advantage of every bit of space you can. We're really packing, we're really trying to grow a lot in this space. And so you want to provide your plants with every bit of soil you can. Now we are putting some starts in here, so that'll fill a little bit of space. And you'll see when we water this, it's going to settle. All right, so we've got all our soil in our planters here, and we want to start thinking about getting our plants in the right places. So we've got 5 tiers, and I've got tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and we're going to do 2 in lettuces. And you want to think a little bit about where you're planting these things and what's going to be the best position. So I think I'm going to go do the cucumbers at the bottom because they may trail out a little bit, and I don't want them to run over everything else. So I like to stage everything. Next, I think we'll do tomatoes. Now these are a patio tomato, which are going to be an indeterminate, so they won't trail all over the place. They should stay pretty upright. Next, we'll go with our peppers. Now, obviously I bought these, and I did that for the sake of the demonstration here, but you can sure start them at home if you want to. But it is not too late for a lot of you, even now. If you wanted to get a garden going, you could do this. A lot of the garden centers still have some good starts in place. And then we're going to save these 2 beds for lettuces, which we'll get to in a moment. Okay, so this system doesn't have any water in it yet, so I like to have everything well watered before I start. So we're just going to go ahead and get some water, make sure our starts are well watered, and make sure we've got some water into our fresh potting soil. You would have a hard time doing too much. This is all well draining, and it's just not going to hurt a bit. You see how that water just soaks right in. So, matter of fact, it would be really good if you took your starts and made sure they were well watered the night before. Alrighty, now it's time to get these starts planted in the GreenStalk system. I've got some cucumbers here. Now, like I said, I bought these. They've got 3 per little space, and they want to plant you these 3 every 48 inches. We don't have that much space, so I only want to plant 1 because we're asking a lot of the soil already. So I'm going to pinch off a couple of these. And I'm not going to talk a whole lot here about the transplanting process. I just did a video not too long ago on that, and we'll link that below. Break up the roots just a little bit to spur them on. And of course, you want a good spade, and we love our Homestead iron tools. If you guys haven't checked out Homestead Iron, another small family that just makes a fantastic tool. And you can see this still didn't get a whole lot of moisture. We're going to have to make sure and get a lot more moisture into this system. Well, we'll do that after everything is planted. You want to keep it pointed out towards the edge here a little bit. Tamp it down just a little. All right, with your tomatoes, it's always good to take off the bottom leaves and plant them a little bit deeper up their stem. Forget to loosen up the roots a little, stimulate those to reach out. If you don't do this, the roots will tend to just kind of grow right close. It'll take them longer to start to reach out, which is going to slow the plant growth. So we're not trying to break them all off. We're just trying to disturb them a little bit. So we're going to get that guy in here a little bit deeper than the cucumbers or peppers. You can handle that just fine. Of course, remember to keep them out to the edge. I got to remember myself, because that next tier is going to press on them a little. All right, so we've got all our transplants in. Now, before we put this together, we're going to want to plant our lettuce seed. So I want to get these beds nice and even. Disturb it just a little. Same with this one. Okay, so we're going to do some lettuce in the top. This is a great, just a blend from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Rocky Top lettuce. We like this one. It's done well. It's done pretty well for us in some of the heat. And the way I like to plant lettuce is very densely. We're not going to grow this out to full head, so I'm just going to kind of broadcast seed it. And what you can do with that is harvest. You can grow them almost like microgreens, and you can just start to harvest out. Now, that's a lot of seed. I probably don't need quite that much, but I really want it to fill in. And we'll harvest it, start pulling little bits out when it's babies, and we'll let it get a little bigger, and we'll harvest a little bit more. And then maybe by the end of the season, we'll get a larger head or two. But this allows us to get a bit more food out of the space. And we do this just about everywhere in the garden, not just in this situation. Seed is not expensive, and you can learn to save your own. And actually, soil amendment is not that expensive compared to the amount of food that you can grow in a space. All right, so we've got our salad seed in. We do want to cover it. I like to use just a sifted compost and just barely cover the seeds. It's a little dry, so we'll have to get it some water after this. General rule of thumb is to cover seeds twice their whitest part. So for these guys, that's about 1/8 of an inch or so, maybe a little more. Okay, now I do want to water them one more time. It takes a lot of water to get the system fully charged. I don't really want to fully charge it because I think it's going to get really heavy, but I do want to get everything a good watering, wash off the plant. So we'll go ahead and do that now. A little much. Let's get everything a good soaking. Like I said before, you can't really water too much. Got good draining soil. This is a good system. The water, any excess will drain out. My biggest concern is just I still want to be able to lift them. All right, let's get everything out of the way. Now, make sure you don't throw these away, okay? Don't put them in the trash can. That is good compost. So set them aside. You could even mulch with them here. Put them somewhere, but don't throw them in the trash can. All right, so next step before we stack these is to get in these watering trays. Don't forget these. This is what helps make sure that you get good, even water distribution through every tier. They can be right against the soil, but make sure they're pressed on there real nicely. And the last one gets, this is actually your measured water, and what's really great about this is you can see right here, depending on how many tiers you're doing, they recommend 3, 4, or 5, and you can fill it up when you go to water by those. And that, very modular, fits together so nicely. All right. Let's put this together. Don't know how this first one will go. Can you see? There we go. All right. Look at that. So we just want to be careful. We did good. We didn't get any of our plants. Real good. Okay, so this is definitely a job that's easier for a couple of people to help you see. I'm just getting a few of the leaves out of the way here. Rachel, you gonna help me out here? I can't see.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like I'm a little off over here. Nope, nope, maybe not. Did I do it? Mm-hmm. Look at that. Real good. Yep, got a little leaf there. Not bad. Okay, hey, we've got a garden coming together. Got it filled up with soil. You may have to just press it down a little bit. Put That's looking pretty good. All right, there you have it. We're going to go ahead and give it an initial watering. You may have to do this a few times. And there's supposed to be a little cap right here. They'll send you one. I don't know what happened to mine, but that'll hold it in so that you can actually fill it up to the right level. And the first day or two, you may need to do this several times because you want to get your soil well saturated. All right, good. And now that's going to drain and the water is going to distribute to each tier. And if you look, you can see it. It's already watering at this tier. Might take a few minutes for it to get down. All right, guys, so we have got an instant garden with the GreenStalk Vertical Growing System, and it's getting the water distributed. And what I love about this, and you're going to want to do this, is you can move it. So you can get this in a sunny place, but it's only going to get sun on half of it. So you want to be able to move it and turn it, and that's what's really great about this system. We can move it around on the porch. This is a nice southwest face right here, so we're probably going to leave it right outside the kitchen door where it's really easy to get to. And when it starts fruiting, it'll be really easy to come out here and pick fruits for a salad. One last thing I want to leave you with, well, two last things. One, if you're starting from seed, you're going to need to make sure that you have a way to water the seed until it sprouts. Keep the surface damp, either with a watering can or a hose and a sprayer close by. These guys are just fine. They're going to reach out. We've well watered them to start, and they'll get all the water from this soaking. But if you're starting some sort of seed, especially something like lettuce that's close to the surface, you need to keep the surface well moist until these guys are up and going. And lastly, if this is a good system for you, head on over to GreenStalk. We'll leave you a link down below with a promotion code, and they will get you a discount on one of these, and you can get a garden going. Thanks for hanging with me today, and I will see you soon.